Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa informed the nation in his weekly newsletter that he hopes to formalise the taxi industry during their National Lekgotla, which is taking place this week. The three-day event is expected to bring government, civil society and industry stakeholders together. The president used his weekly newsletter to highlight the myriad of issues plaguing the taxi industry at the moment. Ramaphosa said that he hopes that a common ground would be found during the National Taxi Lekgotla so that a blueprint can be created to formalise and regulate the industry. In his economic reconstruction and recovery plan, the president also acknowledged that improving the transport infrastructure is central to economic growth. Thabisho Molelekwa is the national spokesperson of the South African National Taxi Council, or Santaco, and he joins us now to discuss this further. Thanks so much for your time, Mr. Molelekwa. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning and good morning to your viewers.
The president says that he hopes that a blueprint to formalise the taxi industry will emerge from this three-day Lekgotla that starts on Thursday. So what is the taxi industry's feeling about this? And also, what would be on your wish list to emerge as a blueprint?
Well, firstly and perhaps most importantly is the fact that this process comes as a result of our understanding with the Minister of Transport that he wants to call for a Lekgotla where the industry and government would be able to negotiate or discuss issues honestly and robustly as part and parcel of formalizing the industry and empowering it. For us, what that means is merely that the document that the government approved in 1996 on how the industry can be formalized and empowered is now finally coming to fruition. So we get into this Lekgotla saying we committed to a process of formalization of the industry. However, the issues around regulation, the issues around empowerment, and the issues around ensuring that integration of transport services is done in terms of the space that the players in the transport sector enjoy will be able to become the stepping stone in terms of benchmarking government's commitment to empower the taxi industry.
When we talk about formalizing the industry, where is the taxi industry at right now with regard to that and policy formulation in order to structure it legally?
Well, one of the things that the government discusses around the formalization of the industry is the formation of or registration of companies where operators would be able to surrender their operating licenses into those companies, which then becomes the operators of the business. Already Santaco has rolled out that process. There are cooperatives established already. We are about 65% through in terms of that. So we believe we get into the Lekgotla with an advantage to that regard, because we do believe that we run a business, and as a result, we need to be formalizing a structure that demonstrates that the first and secondly to ensure that we are able to maximize, a beneficiation in terms of the opportunities that arise in the public transport sector.
And I asked this question as well, Mr. Molelekwa, with the benefit of hindsight, where questions of this nature have been asked previously to the taxi industry directly, whereby answers have been put forward that said, well, individuals pay taxes, but it's a broader question of a tax base that exists within this industry that isn't currently paying tax as the rest of companies in South Africa do. There's a question of labor laws and abiding by those. To be quite direct then, could this actually ever work? Is there sufficient appetite amongst taxi owners, operators to actually comply with all these laws?
Well, and this Lekgotla coming is the first step towards that. There is not only appetite, there is commitment on the side of the industry. And this is why part and parcel of what we had requested from government is to have Treasury or the SARS participate in the process to ensure that we're able to educate one another on the issues of SARS, the benefits of SARS, and also at the fact that we want to demystify this thing that the taxi operators are not paying tax. So that's the first thing. Around labor relations, we know that, okay, generally we've got the challenge of dealing with ensuring that the driver, employment is formalized and so on. But again, this is the first step towards ensuring that we are able to achieve that. But that will, of course, be preceded by, the formal registration of these cooperatives, and ensure that there are better structures such that formalization of employment is achieved. And this is what the president of Santaco told his executive when he briefed them on the National Taxi Lekgotla, that beyond the Taxi Lekgotla, the industry must be able to do things differently, must be able to respond to the larger needs and demands.
Well, unfortunately, seem to have lost that connection there. Frozen picture we have now to Mr. Thabisho Molelekwa of Santaco. And speaking there about the 3-day Lekgotla of this particular sector and hoping to emerge from it with a blueprint that will take the industry further in terms of formalizing it. And we were just talking there about issues of taxation and labor laws. And we do know that in the weeks leading up to Thursday's Lekgotla, there have been provincial Lekgotla. So I was hoping to ask him about some of the concerns that have stemmed from there, and also just the general perception about the taxi industry that the public has, which is, of course, a negative one for the most part. But unfortunately, that connection letting us down, so we have to leave that there. Thabisho Molelekwa is the national spokesperson for Santaco, talking to us about all of these issues, and this, of course, in the lead up to the 3-day National Taxi Lekgotla.